Okay, hello. Welcome back to another BSharp video at home, music making at home. Today's video from me will be about beginner violin. So this is for those of you who have a violin already but haven't really picked it up yet. But also those who have got a violin and have been playing a little bit maybe. But it's just good to know some of the basic things as well that we need to know about a violin, okay? So with a violin, just very quickly, just some of the parts of it, just to get it going for you. So this bit is the body, is the main body and the main bigger bit of your violin. Mine's a slightly different shape to others, okay, but it doesn't stop the sound that we can make and the use of the violin, okay. So mine's just made slightly differently from a violin maker. It's cool. So this is the body. So if you grab your violin out, see if you can point to the body for me. This is the body of your violin. Okay, fantastic. And then we've got our chin rest. Okay, now when we have our violin, we've got a chin rest and a shoulder rest. Okay, our shoulder rest is the little extra bit that goes and can clip on to our violin. All right, so if I take mine off, the best way to put on a shoulder rest, if you have one, hopefully you have one, okay. If you don't have one, don't worry, you can use a sponge, or some people drape a cloth or a towel across their shoulder just to stop any of this from digging in, because you've got bits of metal on there holding your shoulder rest and your chin rest on. Your chin rest, sorry. This is my pickup. This helps me be heard through speakers, so it sort of makes it electric. So that's just me because I do a lot of gigs and things. Okay, so with our shoulder rest, I don't know if you can see, there's a longer, straighter side and then a really, really dipped side. Okay, so turn your violin so you can see the back of your violin. I want you to find the really super curvy side and then attach that. So you hold the violin with one hand, that's absolutely fine. And then you attach it, clip one side on with the really super bendy side, okay, the really curvy side. And then you want to edge it on slightly, edge it. And some people prefer it a lot further round, some people prefer it not very far round at all. You can also change the height of your shoulder rests as well, okay. So this helps your violin stay on your shoulder and with a bit more grip, okay, and a lot higher as well, okay. Now our chin rest is there not for our chin to put on like this, but it's actually the side of our cheek, okay. So you should be able to hold it up with the side of your cheek, not lying into it like this, just following your jawbone, I guess. So it's like half chin, like the side of your chin, and the side of your cheek, okay. Fantastic. So that's a really nice position to have it. You don't want it too forward, and then you don't want it too far back either, because that's not going to be so good on your shoulders or your arms, okay? Fantastic. Okay, so this is our violin. Now, some important other parts of our violin that we need to know before we get going with using our bows, okay, is our bridge. Now, this is the bridge. Can you see if you can find and point to your bridge on your violin? Here it is. It's holding all of our strings. It's bridging all of the strings together, okay? The bridge is a slight different angle. It curves down a little bit. It's the best way to explain that one. And it evenly spaces out our strings as well. And it raises it up from our fingerboard, because if our strings were flat against the fingerboard, they won't be able to vibrate and make the sound and ring out. So it's very important that our bridge is high enough that our strings are off of the fingerboard all the way up to the end, okay? So they might seem so close that they're touching the fingerboard, but they have to be off of it slightly to be able to ring out. Now, this is our only little tiny bridge bit, obviously, that has to touch. So it's between here and our bridge here, where our strings have to be off of our fingerboard, okay? So we've got our main body. We've got our bridge. This is our fingerboard. Can you point to our fingerboard, which is the long black bit here? Okay. These are our tuning pegs, so they're the main tuning pegs. If our violin is very, very out of tune and our strings have gone a bit floppy, or they're a bit too tight, then we can use these to get it as close as we can to the note we need it to be at, okay? So they're good for getting as close as we can if our strings are very, very out of tune. And this is our scroll. I mean, my scroll has a hole through it. Hello. Most scrolls go all the way up like this. So you get lots of different sizes of violins as well. And then down here, we've got our fine tuning pegs as well, okay? So these are our fine tuners. And then these help us, once we've used these to get as close as we can, then we use these to get it perfect, a beautiful note, okay? So these help us out to get it perfect, okay? Fantastic. So we've got our body. Can you point to the body of your violin? We've got our fingerboard. Can you point to your fingerboard? We've got our bridge, which holds all the strings together. Can you point to your bridge? Fantastic. And we've got our tuning pegs up here. Can you point to your tuning pegs? Can you point to your scroll, which is the bot that winds up and up and up? It looks like a scroll. Can you point to your chin rest? Fabulous. And if you have one, can you point to your shoulder rest? Brilliant. Okay, now, before we use our bow, let's just check our strings are in tune, okay? Now, the notes of our tune, the notes, names that we have, English Hannah, come on. The lowest note, we have 4 strings, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our lowest note is a G. Can you try finding the lowest note? It's the one nearest to you. Can you use your thumb, hold your violin a bit like a guitar for now, and then see if you can find a G, which is your lowest note, okay. The next one down is a D. So I remember it is G, D, good dogs. Can you find your D? And then the next one down is an A, good dogs always. An A, fantastic. And then the last one is the highest string, is an E, eat. Good dogs always eat, okay? Or you can come up with your own one using G, D, A, E, okay?